Hey, what's going on, my good people? About a week ago, people were sending me this story right here. And this is the story of 1-year-old Sayah Deal. And her father, Sidney Deal, left her in a car to die. And I thought to myself, what was he thinking? What was he thinking? And I'm going to be honest with y'all, I was not going to touch this story. But then when the police reports came out, I was like, let me take a look at it. And I found some things that need to be addressed. So that's what we're going to do in this video right here. Come on, ride with me. On Monday, October the 5th, Sidney Deal was coming from this building right here. He was leaving his girlfriend's house, him and his daughter Sayah. And the story that's been put out here is that he gets to the car, put his daughter in the car, he starts the car and turn on the air when he realizes that he don't have his phone. So, he tries to run back in and get his phone. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, I didn't see nothing wrong with that. I've been in situations like that, and I'm quite sure some of y'all can say the same thing, where you put your child in the car and then realize you forgot something in the house. Because we think of time, it ain't going to take us but a second to run in, run back out. You know what I mean? That's what he did. But by the time he got back to his car, he realized that his daughter, Sayah, is locked inside of it. Now, Sidney Deal was put in the spotlight because of what transpired after that. After him finding his daughter locked in that car. And it was the fact that there was numerous requests made to try to break the window to get his daughter up out of there, and he said no. He was worried about how much it would cost to repair the window. But your daughter locked inside? Because I know me personally, I wouldn't have gave a damn about the window. My main concern would have been my daughter. You know what I mean? But there's one more element to this. Sidney Deal told police that the AC was on. So, to me, that was to explain away the lack of urgency. He wasn't tripping. He wasn't worried about her. In his mind, she good. But she wasn't good. Because she left that car dead. She wasn't good. Yeah. So we're going to look at these reports because I was interested in his mind state. You understand what I'm saying? So I wanted to look at what was going on with him before his daughter got locked in the car. So, come on. We still riding. Police interviewed several people. But the most interesting interview to me was the interview of Porscha Henderson. She the girlfriend. He at her house when all this jump off. So, yeah, we need to look at what she had to say. So we about to read this. Y'all good, don't trip. It says that Porscha identified herself as Sidney's longtime girlfriend and mother of his two children. Even though she is not the biological mother of Sayah, she has watched over Sayah for the majority of her life, as Sidney has full custody of Sayah. Porscha stated that she and Sidney got into an argument earlier in the day after he refused to help her with responsibilities around the home. She described the altercation as verbal only, but did admit to telling him and Sayah to leave. Porscha stated Sidney exited the home and she closed the door behind him. She witnessed him enter his vehicle and she went upstairs to continue with her morning task. After a few minutes, Sidney returned to the front door and knocked numerous times. Once she finally decided to answer the door, he informed her he had locked his keys inside the car and needed her to call for a tow truck or a locksmith. Porscha did not want to open the door to her apartment, but spoke with Sidney through the window as she called for a locksmith. Porscha was able to show detectives her call log and showed she had called his insurance at 3:06 p.m. After being on the phone for 23 minutes, Porscha stated that the company informed them Sidney did not have roadside assistance, but they could send a locksmith that would charge him before opening the car door. Sidney did not agree on the price and told Porscha to hang up the phone. Porscha then called Sidney's brother Samid, and Sidney advised him of the incident. At that point, Porscha went upstairs and did not exit her apartment until paramedics and patrol officers had arrived and Sayah was removed from the car. Okay, couple things. She done told us that she the long-time girlfriend. Okay, she the main boo. And she told us that she has two children by him. She got 2 kids, so she a baby mama too. And even though she's not the biological mother of Sayah, she's basically saying, look, I've taken care of her all her life because he has custody of her. So that told me, I mean, shit, they moving as a unit. They're a pair. And she's helping raise Sayah. And Sayah is 1 year and 9 months old. Don't forget that. She told us that her and Sidney had got into an argument. You know what I mean? And it was because he wouldn't help out around the house. And ladies, we've all been there. You know, got these boys and grown men bodies. Y'all know. Y'all know how it is. So I get it. But she basically said that they was just talking shit. But she did tell him that him and Sayah had to leave. He got to go. She got to go. Because again, that's not her baby. Which led me to this article right here. It says that in October 2018, 2 years ago from this month, okay, Porscha Henderson, the mother of Deal's 2 sons, filed a lawsuit in district court requesting sole custody of the boys, who were 1 and 3 at the time. In her reasons, she cited domestic violence and CPS involvement. The lawsuit was filed 1 month after one of the 5 CPS reports alleging abuse. Porscha requested that Sidney not be allowed to visit the boys, citing quote-unquote harassment, according to the lawsuit. Okay, couple things. Now, in October of 2018, she got him in court, okay? And her kids at the time are 1 and 3. And I got a problem with this because December 19th of the same year of 2018, Sayah was born. Do the math. That means the new baby mama, when Porscha was filing this lawsuit, the new baby mama about what? 7 months? 6, 7 months? She damn near due. Imagine the position that she was in. You know what I mean? She got 2 kids, bang. Hers is only 1. And you got some other broad talking about she pregnant? Yeah, that'll sting. That stings. I ain't gonna even lie. You know what I mean? And then she mentioned domestic violence and CPS involvement. Now, we don't know if she was referring to her kids or Sayah, but I mean, she putting it out here like he beating on her, you know what I mean? Like he doing something to the kids because CPS involved. And you done had another baby on the side with the side chick? Oh man. Oh man. Yeah. She in a rough position. So much so that she didn't even want him to see his kids. You understand what I'm saying? Which brings me back to her interview, where she told us that she watched over Sayah for the majority of her life because Sidney had full custody of her. So what that told me was, after all this lawsuit and not want him to see the boys, she took him back. Because now she's a mother figure in Sayah's life. You know what I mean? So when she went on in this statement and told us that they was arguing and, you know, she told him and Sayah to leave, you know, I was concerned about what the argument was about. You know, and yeah, she told us that it was because he wouldn't help out around the house. But then I'm thinking, like, was that really the issue? Because Then we heard from Mariah, who is Sayah's biological mother. And this is what she said in her statement. Sayah's mother, Mariah Coleman, said that she saw Sayah just hours before her death on Monday. So, is it safe to assume that Sidney saw Mariah before this argument? You know what I mean? And it may not have been anything, sexual or like he was, trying to slide on the side. It might have just been for the sake of Sayah. But y'all know how some of these women can be. They feel like these guys got custody of these kids and he ain't even supposed to deal with the baby mama. Sometimes we can be so selfish like that. You know what I mean? But that wasn't the case here. So, is that why Porscha was mad? I mean, could that have had something to do with it? I'm quite sure it did. And to me, that's why after she told him and Sayah to leave, once she saw him get in the car, she went on about her business. She continued on with her day. And then next thing she know, he back at the door. Okay? And he knocked and knocked and knocked. And then when she finally decided to answer, he told her he locked his keys in the car and that he needed her to call a tow truck or a locksmith. And I'm like, did he tell you that his baby was in there? Why you ain't mention that part? Did he not tell you that? And since Porscha didn't want to open up the door, she started talking to Sidney through the window. But she did call the locksmith. And she called him at about 3:06 and the call lasted 23 minutes. So she got off the phone with them, about 3:30? So she makes it sound like that Sidney and Sayah left. And then next thing she he at the door and she got to call a locksmith. Like there's nothing in between. But Sidney interview sounds a little different. Sidney said that once he put Sayah in the car and turned the car on and turned the AC on, he realized he didn't have his phone. So he returned to the door to ask Porscha to bring his phone. Sidney stated that he argued with Porscha for approximately 15 minutes until he agreed to give her a ring in exchange for his phone. When he went back to his vehicle, he realized the car was locked. Sidney then went back to the apartment door and asked Porscha to make the phone calls to the insurance, locksmith, and his brother. So Porscha make it sound like he made one trip. In his statement, he's saying he made two. And that they actually argued for about 15 minutes before he went back to the car and realized that the door was locked. You understand what I mean? Why did she leave out that part? You know, it don't match up. It don't match up. And not only that, now we know Porscha called the insurance company at 3:06. And according to Sidney's statement, they was arguing 15 minutes, about 15 minutes before that. Okay? Which would take it, to 2:45, 2:50? They out there arguing. She want her ring back. And if she don't get the ring, she not giving him this phone. Okay? And I'm like, damn, she petty. She own one. They own one. You understand what I mean? So think about what's going on at this very moment. And we know Porscha was on that phone call for 23 minutes. So if we add in this 15-minute argument, we're looking at about 40 minutes. And Sayah was still in the car. Listen to what Sidney told his mother.
He was in the car. He just, from what I'm hearing, he just had pulled back up. He was coming to get his phone from his girlfriend. When he went back to the car door was locked. That's when he started trying to get into the car. A cop was rolling past. He flagged the cop down. The cops got out, helped assisting him with the car. And then when he said that the air was on, they was like, "Oh, okay," and someone was coming. A locksmith was coming.
Yeah, that's what he told his mama. And did y'all hear her say something about like he pulled back up? And I was like, pull back up? So I'm under the impression that he told his mama at some point he actually left and came back. And I mean, I guess that's possible. But in his statement, he said all he did was put her in the back seat, turn the car on, turn the AC on, realized he didn't have his phone, went back to the house. Like, he never left the area. He never left the parking spot. You understand what I mean? Like, it was all in one whop. You know, nor did he tell his mama that his daughter had already been in there for 30 plus minutes and that he was arguing. That's what he was doing, arguing. Mama didn't have all the facts, okay? But she was correct when she said that the police showed up, that he flagged down the police because he flagged them down at about 3:33. Now, this report right here, it says that this happened on October the 10th, but we all know it was October the 5th. See, I don't like when reports be messed up like this because if I gotta question the date, then I gotta question everything. If you can't get the date right, so. But it says that he flagged down the police at 3:33, and he told them that he locked his keys in the car, and that he left the car running, and that his daughter was inside. And so the police offered to get him a tow truck, a locksmith to break the window. He like, nah, he ain't hearing none of that. But he did ask to use the police officer's phone so he can call his brother. Samid, the brother, stated that he was first made aware of the incident when he received a phone call from an unknown number. Samid answered the phone and heard his brother Sidney on the other line. Sidney told Samid he had accidentally locked Sayah in the car, but that the AC was on and that he needed Samid to call his mother in order for her to call her insurance. Samid stated he was confused by the phone call and immediately started to get ready and drove to his brother's home. So, okay, wait a minute, pause. Samid is saying that he's just now learning about it when Sidney called from the police phone, right? But don't forget that in Porscha's statement, she said that when Sidney told her to hang up on the insurance company, that she called his brother, and then Sidney advised his brother of what was going on. And I'm like, so this wouldn't have been Samid's first time hearing about what's going on if they called the first time. You understand what I'm saying? That makes no sense to me. And I'm assuming that if Porscha did call Samid, then she was the one that talked to him. Sidney didn't talk to him. Because remember, she talking to Sidney through the window. She even made the phone call to the insurance company. But in her statement, she said that Sidney advised him of the incident. And I'm like, so at some point, did you let him in? Did you give him the phone? That couldn't be the case. Because Samid said that the first time he was made aware of the situation was when Sidney called from the police phone. Make that make sense. But Samid went straight over there. And when he got there, he questioned his brother about Sayah. And Sidney told him that she was okay. And that he just needed Samid to call their mother in order for her to request a tow truck or a locksmith through her insurance. And I'm like, damn, he still want to wait on a tow truck or a locksmith? Do y'all know how long it takes for a tow truck to show up? I've had to wait on several. And I waited at least 30 minutes. At least. Sidney still wanted to wait. And at this point, Sayah had to have been in that car at least an hour. At least. And Samid, he didn't want to wait. He wanted to punch the window. And Sidney told him, no, He just bought that car and that he ain't had no money to repair a broken window. Okay? So Samid did not break the window. And Sayah was still in the car. And after a few minutes went by, Samid stated he handed Sidney his phone in order for him to call his mother. And don't forget, at this time, they all out there. Samid, the police. So listen to the mother talk about time.
She never was unattended. She never was unattended.
Because he never
Because
got to go back into the
he
house.
never got to go back into the house. The girl didn't let him in the house. He went for his phone. She didn't give it to him. And then when he realized that he was locked out the car, that's when the police rolled by. He flagged the police down and he started asking neighbors to use the phone to call us, to call his family.
How long did this whole thing like take from?
Probably, I say about 30 something minutes. The whole situation from when I was contacted and when I got there.
And Sayah,
Yeah, she added on another 30 minutes. And I hate that in this report right here, the officers really don't say exactly how long they were out there. But they do say that after waiting for several minutes for the tow truck to arrive, the officers broke out the back window and made entry into the vehicle. They said that once Sayah was removed from the vehicle, they realized that she was not responsive and they called for medical attention. They performed CPR until the paramedics got there. But Sayah was pronounced dead at the scene. And meanwhile, where was Porscha? Porscha said that after she had called Sidney's brother, Samid, she went back upstairs. She didn't come out her apartment until the paramedics and the patrol officers had arrived and Sayah was removed from the car. And I'm like, really? I mean, this child has been out there for a minute. They in front of your door. It feels like everybody was waiting on her to die. I mean, almost like everybody was buying time. You know what I mean? And for this to be someone you raised, I don't understand how that's possible. Let's take a look at the condition of Sayah's body. Sayah appeared to have slippage of the skin consistent with being in a high heat environment for an extended period of time. Her body was in rigor mortis to the point where her left arm was in a 90-degree angle with a tight fist. Oh, baby. She was out there for a minute. For a minute. Is her father liable? Is he negligent? Listen to what his mama had to say.
My son was not negligent with the way he handled it. It was not that he cared more about the car. He thought his daughter was in air. In air.
Yep, that's what he told everybody. Sidney told everybody that the AC was on. No need to worry. She was good. But then his sister came out and said this. For everyone with questions, my brother locked his keys in the car. Accidents happen. He was just in his car with the AC on. He flagged down a cop driving by to get help in his car. The air was on and Sayah was living and banging on the window, to my knowledge. There is an officer who witnessed that and has on a body cam. There were no signs of Sayah ill or harmed. Clearly, police would have broke the window immediately, but they did not. They patiently waited on a locksmith, as my brother was too. And then in parentheses she says, not knowing that air was blowing heat. And I said, what? So you mean to tell me that all this time Sayah sat in that car, the heat was on? It was 90 plus degrees outside. And she's in the car with the heat on? Oh man. Oh man. And then the sister talked about he was patiently waiting on the locksmith, but at some point the locksmith didn't come because at some point Sidney gave the police permission to break the window. And it's like, now? Really? Now you want to break the window? It was too late, y'all. It was too late. You know? And I get that a mother wants to protect her child. I'm a mother. I get it. But you have to admit that he was having a very bad day. A very bad day. That turned into a tragedy. It was like a waiting game. And so it makes you question a lot of things. Like, was Sayah alive at any point in the car? Because by the time they got her out, rigor mortis had set in, everything. So, was this an accident? I mean, because I do get that accidents happen, but this just don't feel right to me. And they locked him up on October the 6th, but guess what? He was released on bond. So, you got bond money, but you ain't got money for the window? Nah, that don't add up. So, was this an accident or was this intentional? I'm gonna let y'all decide. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. I'll meet y'all down there.
So make the news, nigga, and watch what happens. If you make it over here on this channel, nigga, we on your ass. Okay.